Imagine waking up every single day with a mind so unbreakable that no amount of chaos, no financial crisis, no toxic relationship, and no stroke of bad luck could ever steal your peace. You walk through a world on fire, yet you remain completely untouched. This isn't a superpower reserved for gods or comic book heroes. This is the ultimate promise of a philosophy forged in the dirt, the chains, and the harsh realities of the ancient world. We live in an age of profound anxiety. We are hyper-connected yet deeply isolated, overwhelmed by infinite choices, and constantly stressed by things entirely out of our control. We exhaust ourselves trying to micromanage the world, our reputations, and other people. But what if I told you that the ultimate blueprint for human freedom was written over 2,000 years ago by a man who started his life with absolutely nothing? His name was Epictetus. He was born a slave in Hierapolis, lived with a crippled body, and served in the treacherous court of Nero in Rome. He owned no property, possessed no political power, and suffered physical abuse. Yet, Epictetus became one of the most powerful and influential thinkers in human history, attracting the attention and respect of emperors like Hadrian. Why? Because he discovered that true freedom has absolutely nothing to do with your external circumstances. He realized that while the world could chain his broken body, not even the gods could enslave his mind. Today, we are going to dive deep into the ultimate memorization framework of Epictetus's teachings. We'll distill his wisdom into 12 core principles of modern Stoicism. This is truly a survival guide. It is a training manual for your mind. I invite you to stay with me, take notes, and truly absorb these lessons. If you apply them, they will radically transform the way you navigate adversity, heartbreak, and success. Let us begin the journey. Principle 1. The ultimate divide. The dichotomy of control. The absolute foundation of Stoicism, the very first step through the door of this philosophy, is recognizing the sharp, uncompromising divide between what is yours and what is not. Epictetus teaches that of all existing things, some are in our control, and others are not in our control. What is in our control are thoughts, our impulses, our will to get, and our will to avoid, in short. Everything that is our own doing. What is not in our control, our bodies, our property, our reputation, and our official positions, in short. Everything that is not our own doing. This sounds simple, but it is the hardest pill for the human ego to swallow. We spend our lives agonizing over the opinions of strangers, the fluctuations of the economy, and the inevitable aging of our bodies. But Epictetus reminds us that things within our control are by nature free, unhindered, and unimpeded, while things not in our control are weak, slavish, restricted, and dependent on others. When you try to control or attach your happiness to the uncontrollable, you will inevitably be thwarted. You will mourn. You will be distressed, and you will find yourself blaming both gods and men. However, if you focus your energy solely on what is yours, your own mind and choices, no one can ever compel you. No one can hinder you. You will blame no one, and you will have no enemies, because no harm can ever touch you. Zeus himself could not give us absolute freedom over our physical bodies or external possessions, but he gave us a portion of himself, the power to control our actions, our preferences, and our aversions. Master this divide, and you master your life. Principle 2. The filter of perception. It is not events that disturb us. Once you understand what you control, you must confront the greatest illusion of human existence. We constantly tell ourselves that events, people, and tragedies are the direct cause of our suffering. My boss made me angry. Losing my money made me depressed. Epictetus brutally shatters this illusion. He states clearly that men are disturbed not by things, but by the principles and notions they form concerning those things. The event itself is entirely neutral. It is your judgment about the event that injects it with pain or pleasure. Epictetus uses the ultimate example, death. Death is not terrible. He says, "For if it were, it would have appeared terrible to Socrates." Rather, the terror consists in our notion of death that it is terrible. When we are hindered or disturbed or grieved, we should never attribute it to others, but to ourselves, that is, to our own judgments. An uneducated person blames others for his failures. A person who has begun his education blames himself. But a fully educated person blames neither others nor himself. You are the architect of your own misery and your own joy. When you completely remove the judgment that an external event is intrinsically bad, the emotional harm instantly vanishes. Principle 3. The mindful pause testing your impressions. If our judgments cause our suffering, how do we stop them from forming in real time? The Stoic mind is not a passive sponge. It is a heavily guarded fortress. Epictetus introduces the concept of testing your impressions. Throughout the day, the world throws stimuli at you: an insult, a sudden financial loss, an alluring temptation. These are impressions striking your mind. Epictetus instructs us to train ourselves to speak to every harsh impression, "You are just an impression, and not at all the thing you appear to be." You must strip away the emotional narrative. If someone insults you, the impression is just sound waves hitting your eardrums. The narrative is, "I have been disrespected and must fight back." Before you react, you must examine the impression by the rules of philosophy, primarily asking, does this concern the things that are in our control or the things that are not? If the impression concerns something outside your control, you must have the answer ready at hand. It is nothing to me. This deliberate pause is where human freedom lives. It is the space between stimulus and response. By refusing to give instant assent to your initial emotional reactions, you prevent the outside world from hijacking your internal peace. Principle 4. The discipline of desire. Starve your aversions. Now that you have paused and tested your impressions, what do you do with your deepest wants and fears? Modern society programs us to be relentless desiring machines. We want the promotion, the perfect partner, the $1 million portfolio. And equally, we are terrified of the opposites: poverty, loneliness, sickness, and death. Epictetus offers a harsh but liberating cure. You must completely restructure what you desire and what you avoid. He teaches that if you desire anything outside of your control, you are mathematically guaranteed to be disappointed and miserable. If you are averse to unavoidable natural events like sickness, death, or economic crashes, you will live in a constant state of anxiety and wretchedness. The Stoic solution is radical. Temporarily suspend your desires entirely. Do not want anything external right now. Instead, redirect all your aversion only toward things that are within your own control and contrary to your own nature. If you stop fearing external poverty and start fearing becoming a coward, you become invincible. When you lose a bit of money or someone disrespects you, do not lash out. Instead, Epictetus gives us the perfect mantra. This is the price paid for a calm mind. This is the price for tranquility. You cannot get anything for free. If someone steals your wine or spills your oil, your payment for letting it go is keeping your peace of mind. Starve your external aversions, and you will never fall into the traps you dread. Principle 5. The actor in the play. Mastering your assigned role. We spend an enormous amount of energy complaining about the cards we were dealt. Why wasn't I born rich? Why do I have this health condition? Why is my family so toxic? Epictetus obliterates this victim mindset with a brilliant metaphor. He tells us to remember that we are merely actors in a play. You do not get to choose the script, and you do not get to cast the roles. The director of the universe has already done that. If he wants you to play the role of a poor man, a cripple, a public official, or a commoner, your only job is to put on the best performance possible. A great actor doesn't whine about his lines, he masters them. This extends to your social roles as well. You are a son, a brother, a citizen, you might say. But my father is abusive and cruel. Epictetus replies coldly, nature did not guarantee you a good father, just a father. Your role is to be a good son, to endure, and to maintain your own moral character. You do not judge your performance by what the other actors do, but by how well you execute your own part. If your foot had a mind of its own, it would gladly step in the mud if it knew it was for the good of the whole body. You are a citizen of the cosmos. Step into the mud gracefully if the play requires it. Play your role beautifully, and you will be untouched by the chaos of the stage. Principle 6. The alignment of will amor. Fati, wanting what happens. If you want the ultimate hack for infinite happiness, a state of mind where you literally never fail to get what you want, Epictetus provides it in one single, devastatingly simple rule. He says, do not demand that events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly. Most of our suffering comes from the friction between reality and our expectations. We fight the universe. We argue with what is. But the Stoic realizes that the universe is governed by a divine, rational order. To fight it is not only exhausting, it is completely futile. Epictetus often quotes the philosopher Cleanthes, praying, lead me Zeus, and you too, destiny, wherever you have assigned me. If you willingly align your desires with the flow of reality, you walk freely. If you resist, you are like a dog tied to a moving cart. You will be dragged anyway, but you will suffer the whole way. When you align your will with reality, you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start saying, this is exactly what I wanted. If it rains, you wanted rain. If you face a setback, you wanted a setback. You merge your will with the will of the cosmos, making you as unshakable as the gods themselves. Principle 7. The Stoic athlete. The obstacle is the training when adversity strikes. The average person cries, plays the victim, and looks for a shoulder to lean on. The Stoic looks at adversity and smiles. recognizing it for what it truly is, a sparring partner. Epictetus asks us to look at Hercules. What would Hercules have been if he had just stayed in bed? He would never have been a hero. The lions, the hydras, and the wild boars, the very obstacles that threatened to destroy him, were exactly what made him glorious. When you face a massive difficulty, Epictetus tells you to imagine that God, like a master trainer at the gymnasium, has paired you with a tough, young, formidable opponent. Why? Because he wants you to become an Olympic champion. And that cannot happen without sweating. Your toxic neighbor, your financial loss, the people who slander you, they are all your personal trainers. The person who insults you is training you in patience and emotional control. Epictetus challenges us to use the wand of Hermes, a mythical tool that turns anything it touches into gold. He says, "Bring me whatever you wish: sickness, death, poverty, slander, a prison sentence, and I will turn it into a blessing." Stop running from the heavy weights in the gym of life. Lift them. Let them forge the iron of your character. Principle 8. The inner citadel, guarding your ruling faculty. If you look closely at your life, you will realize that you spend entirely too much time defending your possessions, your reputation, and your physical body. Yet, you leave your most valuable asset completely unguarded. Epictetus refers to this ultimate asset as your ruling principle, or your capacity for choice. You are not your flesh, nor are you your bank account. You are the faculty that processes impressions, makes decisions, and determines the course of your life. This inner citadel is the only thing in the universe that is truly yours. A tyrant can throw your body in chains, confiscate your wealth, or even sentence you to death. But no tyrant, no matter how powerful, can ever conquer your mind or force you to assent to something you believe is false. If you want to be truly invincible, you must stop identifying with the fragile, external things that can be taken from you. Instead, identify solely with your inner ruling faculty. When you protect this citadel, even if the world falls apart around you, you remain entirely untouched. Principle 9. Radical empathy. Pity the wrongdoer. In the modern world, when someone insults us, cuts us off in traffic, or betrays us, our immediate reaction is burning anger. We want revenge. But Epictetus offers a profound psychological shift that will instantly extinguish your anger. He teaches that every single person does what they do because they believe it is the right thing to do from their perspective. When someone does wrong, it is simply because they are ignorant. They are literally blind to the truth of what is good and evil. If you saw a blind person walking into a wall, would you be angry at them? Of course not. You would feel pity. Epictetus challenges us to apply this exact same logic to moral blindness. The greatest harm a person can suffer is the loss of their character, their honor, and their decency. When someone harms you, they are destroying their own soul in the process. Therefore, your reaction to the cruelty of others should not be hatred or a desire for revenge, but genuine pity. We are all citizens of this vast universe, carrying a fragment of the divine within us. Remember this, and no insult will ever pierce your armor again. Principle 10. Action over words. The sheep metaphor. One of the greatest traps in the modern self-improvement world is the illusion of progress through consumption. We read countless books, listen to endless podcasts, and memorize philosophical quotes to sound smart at dinner parties. Epictetus had zero tolerance for this kind of intellectual vanity. He warned that simply regurgitating theories is like a person with a weak stomach vomiting up their food before digesting it. He gives us a brilliant metaphor. Sheep do not bring grass to the shepherd to show him how much they have eaten. Instead, they digest their food inwardly and produce wool and milk outwardly. You must do the same. Do not call yourself a philosopher, and do not brag about the books you have read. Show the world what you have learned through your actions. Eat like a civilized human. Control your temper. Endure hardship without complaining, and treat others with grace. Digest the philosophy, and let the results speak for themselves. Principle 11. The urgency of now. Stop procrastinating. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? This is the piercing question Epictetus asks his students. We always tell ourselves that we will start living better tomorrow. We will start exercising tomorrow. We will control our anger tomorrow. We will focus on our goals tomorrow. But Epictetus reminds us that you are no longer a child. You are a fully grown adult. If you remain careless, lazy, and always put things off until tomorrow, you will live and die as an ordinary, unfulfilled person. You must treat your moral and personal development with the utmost urgency. Imagine that the Olympic Games have finally arrived and you are stepping into the arena. The time for preparation is over, and the time for action is right now. Do not wait for a perfect moment, a perfect teacher, or a perfect set of circumstances. Your life is slipping away right this second. Draw a line in the sand today and commit to your own excellence. Principle 12. True freedom. The open door. We chase money, status, and power because we think these things will finally make us free. But Epictetus reveals the ultimate paradox of human existence. The more you desire external things, the more masters you create for yourself. True freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. True freedom is a psychological state where you are completely detached from everything outside of your control, free from all anxiety, fear, and compulsion. To achieve this, you must realize that you are merely a traveler in a cosmic hotel, a guest at a divine festival. Enjoy the banquet while you are here, but do not cling to the plates or the food when it is time to leave. And if the smoke in the room ever becomes too thick, if life truly becomes unbearable, Epictetus reminds us that the door is always open. You are never truly trapped. You always have the ultimate choice to stay or to leave. But as long as you choose to stay, stop complaining, stand tall, and play your role with absolute dignity. My friends, these 12 principles of Epictetus are not just historical artifacts. They are a living, breathing operating system for the modern world. They are the keys to unlocking a mind that cannot be disturbed, a heart that cannot be broken, and a life that is truly your own. You don't need a perfect life to be happy. You just need to master the space between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. As you step back out into the chaos of the world today, remember to guard your inner citadel. Do not give your peace of mind away to traffic, toxic people, or bad news. Digest these teachings, produce the wool of good character, and demand the absolute best from yourself, starting right now. If this video brought value to your life, please hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message today. Drop a comment below with your favorite principle. I read every single one. Until next time, I wish you unbreakable health, endless luck, profound peace, and true, lasting happiness. Stay strong, stay stoic, and conquer your day. See you next video.